Us once again, BuzzFeed, Sapna, Maheshwari, CNBC contributor Jan Rogers-Niffen, just Jan Niffen, get that middle name out of there, and Bert Flickinger. We'll get back to them in just a second. But first, Courtney Reagan, get us up to speed on these two companies. That way.
It's the contest between America's biggest off-price retailers. In the ring, the global Maxxinista takes on the California-based Ross Stores that steers clear of the Northeast. TJX Companies operates TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods, and Ross Stores runs Ross Dress for Less and Didi's Discounts. Sizing up the competition, there are 1,285 Ross Store locations in the U.S. and Guam. TJX is the heavyweight in this ring, tipping the scale with 3,212 stores in 6 countries. But when it comes to productivity, Ross Stores packs a more powerful punch with stronger sales per square foot. Both off-pricers landed higher income in the most recent quarter, but TJX trumps with nearly an 18% gain over Ross Stores' respectable 7% growth. Ross Stores came into the holiday the underdog, lowering earnings guidance for the current quarter for the first time in nearly 20 quarters. While TJX thinks the odds are in its favor, upping guidance, citing, quote, the ability to succeed in all types of economic and retail environments. The off-price retailers don't get a lot of attention in the media, but maybe they should. The inventory, it's getting stronger at both Ross Stores and TJX, and many think a decent faction of shoppers that left JCPenney, we talk about that a lot, went here to these players. Department stores and discounters really should be watching TJX and Ross Stores closely.
Okay, so who's going to win this Christmas, TJX or Ross Stores? Let's get to our panel. Sapna, you first. What do you think?
I'm going with TJX here. I think that across TJ Maxx, Marshalls, HomeGoods, it has so much going on. They're getting onto the internet now. They're doing flash sales. They're in Europe. And they're also very cool. They have a huge social presence with something called Maxxinistas. You can put hashtags with cool things you've bought there. And they're doing a lot with their junior assortment. So I just think it's actually a really cool set of stores.
You know, they both, Jan, have about the same growth. Long-term growth rate about 12%. Their average price target's about 8% above where it is now. TJ Maxx is 2.5 above on the price earnings valuation, so it's slightly richer valued. But these are almost the exact same companies. How do you pick?
Well, that's why I picked Ross Stores. And, of course, this is not fair because Courtney gets the last word. And having shopped with Courtney, I know her favorite place in the world is TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and HomeGoods. So it's going to be hard. But the multiple is exactly what I've looked at. Ross is a great company. TJ is a great company.
Cheaper. 18 times earnings. Ross is, or TJX is about 21. Yeah.
So, and it's got growth because it's not all over the world, all over the country at least, like TJ is. It can grow. I do have some concerns, though, because these guys are in a tough spot right now with the department stores getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and people like Macy's starting to open in outlet malls. So the world's going to get harder for both of them, but I think the guy with the higher multiple suffers more when the world gets harder.
So we have a score for each company, so you've got the deciding vote, Bert.
Well, I've got a hometown favorite from Worcester, Massachusetts. I've done work for founder Ben Camerata of TJX and Carol Meyerowitz, the president, and they called me the Nostradamus of retail for forecasting long-term trends. So we forecast for 10 years all the retailers would go bankrupt. They could pick up cheap leases, get great sites, so they have lower leasehold costs, lower operating costs. They pay on time, in full every time, so they get goods at the beginning of the season. So when somebody needs to move merchandise, they call Carol Meyerowitz and her merchants. It goes to TJX, Marshalls, TK Maxx, all over the world, and so they have first mover advantage.
So the winner must be TJ Maxx then. We've got 2 TJ Maxxes, and we've got Jan in the middle with Ross Stores. Thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you as well, Courtney Reagan. Coming up next, Beyond